masters of speed. This is Formula One.
Hello there. So Suzuka, it's another setup video. As you can see, my mic was off, so ignore me in the bottom right hand corner because I am an numpty. You know the drill by now though, guys. It's 5 red lights, we're waiting, we are getting ready to go. So starting as Frederik Vesti, as starts go, they are absolutely awesome from F2 cars these days. Into turn 1 then, Fittipaldi goes deep and manages to get around the outside. Japan is notoriously bad for non-AI users, so you, the human. Monza and Japan are probably the AI's most strongest tracks. You have to be extremely on it, you have to be extremely fast to to be able to race around here. I, again, claim not to be the fastest guy. I don't claim to be the best guy, but I know a little bit when it comes to setups, and will try my absolute hardest to help you guys. Also learning no line as well is proving tricky, because it does mean I've lost a tenth or a few in its process, but it is what it is. Japan is an amazing circuit. It's just a shame that the AI are not moderated, because the AI, you don't have to worry about understeer, oversteer, tire overheating. You haven't got to worry about anything. Even when they come out of the pits, the AI are absolutely rapid, as in they have no problems at all with about getting going straight away. You have to lift off as well through 130R, which is also tricky, but into the chicane, no dramas. As I've said, the setup is the setup. The setup is really good, really awesome. It is what it is, but yeah, as you can see, the AI in Maloney has already taken off. Plus they also brake at the 100 meter ball, which is no need. You can easily take it at the 50 and then go into sweep into turn 1, turn 2, and then you have to be careful through this section of the S's. If you go wrong at one corner, it then carries on through the sequence and you lose even more time. But of course you have to be mindful in the F2 cars of the understeer, which is extremely bad. As you can see, I am flat out through here and really struggling with keeping up. Have to be careful going into this corner. If you take it too quick, you will carry it on through this corner and then possibly bottom out on that curb. You do not want to be bottoming out on that curb. Into the hairpin, no dramas at all, braking just after the end of the last curb or just before, and then on your way through into Spoon Corner. Spoon Corner is extremely difficult because you can get a lovely turn in at the first part of the spoon, and then as you travel through you have to be careful, because this car, the F2 cars, all they want to do is run wide. I'm just a numpty that forgot to turn on his mic. As you can see me talking away to you guys, and yeah, it's not great at all. But as you can see, the speed on the AI, you have to lift off, as I said, going through 130R, and you can just keep in front of the AI. Obviously without ERS assistance, ERS assistance, which is sort of the energy recovery system as you get on the F1 cars. The F2 cars are limited, so you have to get all the overtaking done mechanically, and Japan is just not a great track to do that, unfortunately. Even in real life, even in F1 cars, it's extremely difficult to get that done. It is what it is, but it doesn't take away the fact that Japan is a great circuit regardless. You know, it is a really good circuit. I thoroughly enjoy Japan. It's probably up there in my top 5. It's a proper old style figure of 8 circuit, which makes it just as good. So yeah, again, being really cautious going into this section of the corners, as the last thing you want to do is bottom out on that curb on the left hand side. What I will say is though, and you'll see coming up in the setup, the reason why I've gone with the hide height, honestly I cannot speak, the ride height, is simply because of those sequence of corners. You don't want to be lowering the ride height any more than what it currently is. But yeah, make the setup your own. Setup will come. Again, going through Spoon, the car really wants to drift out wide. You have to control it. Take your time. I know it's easier said than done about taking your time, as the AI are so quick. As you can see, Iwasa is on my tail again, and obviously just lifting on a little bit of a brake, lifting off, and then just letting the engine take you through. Down at the chicane, yeah, it's difficult. I'm not gonna lie. Japan is not easy when you're battling constantly against the AI. It really isn't. It's a circuit not for the faint-hearted. Did a 45.08 with a purple last sector, which is really good. Again, as I said, I believe that it could be a second, maybe 1.5 seconds quicker with line on, but make no mistake, I'm learning line off for a reason. I want to try and better myself, and you know, I find it quite easy to stick with assists and whatnot, but if you ain't learning, you know, I always reiterate that point. The assists are good, but until assists hinder you, and in order to reach your full potential, you need to ditch them, in my opinion. It's not just my opinion, it's actual fact, because it's the real reason why obviously the top guys, the esports level guys, they run no assists, no line, no traction, no ABS, etc, etc. So yeah, it is proof that they can make you faster, but obviously whilst you're learning, you know, you have to take the rough with the smooth. It's not about the short-term gains, it's about the long-term gains, and in the long term you will only end up bettering yourself. But you know, the fact that Maloney is now 5.3 in front, I'm not saying these 4 laps or maybe 5 laps have been perfect, but yeah, at the end of the day, you know, you have to take one for the team every now and again, and it just proves that how OP the AI are around Japan. But I'm happy with the 5 laps, or the 4.5, nearly 5 laps that I've done, because obviously we're on lap 5 now. But yeah, it was good. Iwasa again, sending a little dive. You have to just be careful, just be mindful. And it is what it is. Like I said, I really enjoy Japan as a circuit, driving it. F2 cars make it really fun, something different as well. I'm not gonna lie, I don't race many F2 league races. I don't think I've done one the entirety of this game, but yeah, you know, if I was going to league race, because I league race a lot, you know, on the channel, you can see all the videos that I do, all the streams I do with league racing, whether it be WOR, FPRL, W2W, which I will be going back to. I just have so much fun league racing, and that's what it's about. And as I said, from next game I will be completely line off, and I will be, you know, whether I'm 2 seconds a lap slower, it is going to be what it'll be. But we're almost at the end of these 5 laps, and I hope it out. I really do. All these laps are set on 100 AI, so you can see just how strong the AI are. But don't be afraid to take them down, you know, to run what you're comfortable with. Do all that good stuff though. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Would love to hear from you in the comments, as always. Been really positive, and I'm glad these setups are helping you. But yeah,
it
on
was
to the
a
setup.
magnificent race, and a drive right out of the top draw to take the win for Carlin today. And Davide Valsecchi, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
Although the Formula 2 cars are all the same spec, the winner just looked better out there. It would have been a combination of getting those tires up to running temperature faster and driving to the condition on track. They made it look easy out there.
As we can see, it's time for the podium, and I can see the Carlin team underneath our commentary box going crazy as their driver walks out. It was a great win, and it means a great deal to this team. Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
I'd probably go for Zane Maloney. The team did a good job with the strategy to put him in the pack, and he was good enough to take the opportunities.
Well, what a weekend that has been. Please join us next time for another thrilling instalment when Formula 2 returns.
Right then, so this is the setup. As I said in the 5 laps previous, I was a numpty and forgot to turn my mic on, so I did all the video without any narration at all. The setup is the setup. You have to be careful of the understeer around here. I'm so sick of using the word understeer to describe F2 cars, and I truly believe if F2 cars were as bad as this in real life, those F2 drivers need some real props for their driving. Onto the setup then, going with front of 41 and the rear of 36. It seems to work, but again, this is your setup. Chop, change, do what you like. Just make it your own setup. You have to, because that's the way it is. You can run it a little bit higher if you need more on the front. If you need less on the rear, or more on the rear, increase the rear. But wherever you increase the front by, decrease the rear by, and then so on. So if you turn the front down to 40, increase the rear up to 37, or vice versa, and you'll see me, because obviously I did a lot of talking earlier on, obviously without the mic on, and you can see me waffling away down in the bottom right hand corner. But yeah, it is what it is. Just try it. Keep on reiterating that you need to make these setups your own. As you can see, I'm saying increase the rear wing by 38 and then take the rear wing up to 44. Yeah, you just do you. This is your setup. Make the setup yours. And however you make the setup, even if you get it wrong, it's okay to get things wrong. Just revert back to the original setup and then try again. You go the opposite way. You might want to run lower wings, because when you're fighting against the AI, especially around Japan, the AI are extremely quick, but they also run low wings because they haven't got to worry about levels of downforce. Again, run on the transmission. I run 60-40 or 80-20. You can run 80-20 no problem at all, but for this setup I chose 60-40, simply to help me and for the benefit of the setup. On the suspension geometry, this is what I went with. Minus 2.8 on the front camber, minus 1.6 on the rear camber, 0.05 on the front toe in, and on the rear toe I went with 0.25. You could get away with running right, left if you want to. Again, try it. But yeah, as I said, no dramas at all with running right, left. Again, like, these setups are fun to make. They're really fun to make, and like I said, I know they help people because I've seen loads of comments and respond to as many as I can. But yeah, the more you make this setup your own, the better it'll be. On the suspension, going with 41 on the front, 32 on the rear. Rear anti-roll bar, a front anti-roll bar of 17, rear anti-roll bar of 11, front right out of 34. As I explained in the 5 lappers, the reason for the ride height, and then a rear ride height of 38. Firm or stiff setups seems to work the best with these cars. They really do. It's the way to go forward, I think. It helps with the understeer, but it doesn't obviously get rid of it. You need to be careful. You need to make sure that you are managing your speed properly through corners. The more you manage your speed through corners, the less understeer you will have. I mean, the setup can only go so far, which, as much as I try to get as much dialed out of the setup as completely possible, but it's not always possible. As if you go back to Bahrain was an absolute nightmare to try and get right. The understeer was just so bad, so bad. But as we've progressed making these setups and going on. The understeer isn't as bad as it used to be. Onto the brakes then, you can run wherever you want. Again, I run 56% because I run ABS off. ABS on users, there's no drama, just run whatever you're comfortable with. But again, I talked about assists and why you should turn them off in the 5 laps, but yeah, that's up to you. Run wherever you're comfortable with. Onto the tyre pressures now. I've gone with all the 6s, 22.6 on the front and rear, on the front, right and left, and then I've gone with 20.6 on the rears. It seems to work, but again, run less if you want to. But yeah, guys, like I said, I hope this setup helps. I really do. Do all that good stuff. Hit the like button, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Hit the subscribe button. More content as always. Christmas coming up. It's going to be a little bit difficult. It's going to be a little bit all over the place with streams and videos. But yeah, take care, guys. Have a good one. Have a great Christmas. And